Hi, Fire. How are we all doing today? Hi, give me a good afternoon. Hope you're having a lovely Friday so far. I, once again, as always, have been vibing, have been chilling, have been doing nothing too exciting. Played a bit of Minecraft, a little bit of Minecraft here and there, and I did some more work on W Place, as one does. Working on my favorite thing, W Place, doing all that fun things about it, working on big art, big W Place project. Just taking me a while to do. I'm not even halfway done. There's so much left to do on it, but that is fine. I am here. I'm going to do it. I'm slowly but surely I'm going to finish it. I will persevere. But that's what's important. What's important is that we're playing more of the devil, which I forgot to grab the thing for the to pin the message. Oh my god, I'm a disgrace. Oh no! Wait a second, I'll grab the pin message I usually use. I roughly usually use. If I could get to it. Give me a minute. But, uh, last week we played a bit of this. It was real fun. We, slowly are making it through the, trial. Sure, we're gonna get through that trial. I think we're almost done the trial. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the end of the trial, which is exciting and a bit scary. Because we still don't exactly know who committed the crime. Who is doing the framing of our lovely client Sosuke. We obviously we know who pinned him for, who was framing him for the 4 murders of the Blue Bloods. But we don't know who is framing him for the kill on the cop. Which is the big mystery here. That's the big mystery we're trying to find out right now. We don't, at least I don't know who it is yet. Maybe Morian has figured it out, but I personally have not figured it out yet because I'm a little dumb, as one says. But we're gonna slowly make it through. I'm excited to go more through it. We got a bit more evidence last time as well. We also found out a big truth last week, and that is we found out Sosuke's true identity, and that he does in fact have ties to the Blue Bloods, because he is, as the story is called, the Little Lord. Wait a second, I need to refresh something real quick. I need to refresh the chat on the screen. It's a bit buggy. Oh, so much text. Anyways. Anyways, as I was saying, we learned a big truth about Sosuke, and that he is what they call the Little Lord, and that is what that means is he is the final and only living relative of the original Blue Bloods, of the old guard, and he has access to the Blue Bloods locked and hidden, locked behind a DNA lock to their fortune. The Blue Bloods put all their fortune into. Ow. Hi, Olivia. Thank you for the lesbians. Welcome in. I'm doing a recap of what we did last week, and that was we learned. That's so scary. Oh! That's been there for like fucking. Ow. That reunions been there for like fucking.
I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our
for like 5 months. It's finally been redeemed. Congrats, Olivia. You found the 5-month-old redeem. It's been there since my birthday. No one redeemed it until now. And think of the hydrates as well. But yeah, as I was saying, we found out that Sosuke was the remaining living blood relative of the original Blue Bloods, and therefore he has access to their fortune that they have been locked out of for years, due to the fact that the what are they called? What are they called again? I keep forgetting the name of the people. The people. Who are they called? I forgot the family name. I forgot who the family that is. The Icaria. The Icaria, because the Icaria slaughtered all the living heirs to the Blue Bloods, and therefore except for one in secret. They left. We learned that one. We learned that there's the last remaining of the original Blue Bloods, and therefore he has a target on his head to be captured for the old guard, because they need his blood. They need his blood, or his relative. He needs him to have a child, or to marry, obviously, another child, or to just have his blood, so they can have access to their fortune. They've been locked out for fucking years. For I think it was like at least 30 years, maybe. I think they said something like that. 30 years has been a while. But they've locked out that for ages. They've been wanting to get into their fortune, but they have not been able to gotten access to it for a while. But yeah, and that's roughly what's happening, and we're nearing the end, I think, of the trial. We just had a big little back and forth between Emma and Emma. I'm about names. We learned some big things. We had a quote unquote private discussion with a witness to the prosecutor, the judge, the adjutant. I mean, the witness and Morgan, the defense attorney, all had a kind of, we cleared the courtroom, and we had a one-on-one, like, ask about all the evidence and the testimony of a witness, and then what they're at. And we're going to see if the information that the testimony that the witness has recounted for us is going to be admitted to court or not. But we learned some big things. We learned some things about how the security works and all that jazz. And yeah, we're about to resume back with the courtroom. We're not bringing everyone coming back in. The jury is probably get the feedback up. We're not sure whether the testimony from earlier is going to be submitted to court to be used for jury. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Anyways, that's roughly it. That's really poorly explained what the fuck happened last week, but it is time to jump back in and see where this goes. And yeah, we got Sarah. We got Sarah right here. Because never forget, guys, I have hired this android to stare at you. I've hired this android to stare at you. And we love her for that. Look at her. Look at her with her autistic eyes. Little baby. Little baby, we love her. Anyways. So, Yoru wasn't even really used to frame me. He was used to draw more blood from the wound to soak the papers. I should get the android off the screen. Oopsies. A very cold decision to make in the heat of the moment. Defiling a corpse just to protect investments. Colder than stabbing someone in the back. In some ways. Didn't think that was up for debate. Thank you for joining us once again, Officer Rogers. No problem. Where's everybody, though? I've got a voice to get this man. I've got a voice to get this man. I know this man's a fucking. I wonder if Rogers killed him. I wonder if Rogers killed him. Maybe. It'd be a wild thing if Rogers killed him, but anyways. Nope, no problem. Where's everybody though? A second, I need to... Well, after the shooting yesterday, I'd rather not risk the integrity of or celerity of this trial by rescreening every member of the gallery when I've already cleared the room once. Celerity? Speed! Trial's gotta go fast, baby! And it takes everyone a while to find their spots in the sands again. We were almost caught up. We were almost caught in the line of fire not 24 hours ago, Officer Rogers. Yourself included. Surely, you wouldn't find the lack of an audience to be intimidating. Nah, I guess not. Where will you leave off with this guy anyway? I believe that lawyer over there had just accused my blink partner of being on the take for the Blue Bloods. I was merely explaining a possibility raised by the witnesses' sworn testimony, Your Honor. That he never heard any gunshots in the area himself. Yeah, and I stand by that. Good. Does the defense have questions for this witness, Your Honor? Or should we all continue to glare at one another for the rest of the day? Tempting, but I guess we better not. Your Honor, we ask the witness testify once more about how he and his partner arrived on the scene. Yeah, no problem. I'll repeat it as many times as you like. I'm gonna have to call you on that. Well, I got a whistle. And that's all I got. It was a quiet night, but then my partner heard gunshots. Okay. Waiting for the nearest known orca hotspot and arrived to find the building dead quiet. The door was locked. I checked the alley, but didn't see anything another way in. Okay. But Chapman shot off the lock through the door and we entered. Blowing some kind of loud music up the stairs. There was a slam and my partner bolted to the third floor. About a minute later, I heard a thud from upstairs and came running. He came running to find the defendant standing over my partner's dead body. Adine, are you waiting for something, perhaps? Just saving the moment, I suppose. There's only one thing to do at this point, and once I hit the trigger on it, things really take off. Up. Oh. Quit that already! As I mentioned, I feel many times by now. That is very unpleasant, Adine. That's a very unpleasant tone, Adine. Sorry. Butterfingers. Hasn't anyone ever told you it's a poor taste to use the same trick twice? It's been a lot more than twice now. Besides, it's only an issue when it's used twice on the same audience. Speaking of which... You gonna answer that, Officer Rogers? Just to fill you in, officer, what I accidentally pressed just now is a whistle found at the scene of the crime. Weird coincidence that my little slip-up coincided with your phone vibrating. Can you read us the notification you received just now? Or should the court computer simply Force open all your devices and splatter your data across the wall. Officer Rogers, you have a so-called receiver application installed on that device, do you not? Yes, I do. Is that in line with department guidelines on use of third-party software on state-provided devices? It's not breaking any regulations. Does it need to earn you any demerits to make you look guilty? SM. You and your partner, that is. Did Chopin also have the app installed? We can go check. If having that app on your phone makes you guilty of something, you'd have to arrest half the cop patrol in the lower wards. What do you mean? It's common knowledge that workers use unconventional attacks to talk to one another. Flags on buildings, clothes left out on lines, smoke signals. Probably even messenger pigeons. Where? Don't jump scare me like that. When you gotta figure this that you ask, every pigeon is a disaster waiting to happen. Anyway, whistles like that one aren't uncommon. So it is common for members of the police department to try to listen in on this chatter of groups like the Blue Blood Mafia. Little wards aren't a place the cop walks into without every weapon they can carry. And that goes double for information. So, there's nothing suspicious about this phone reacting to that horrible racket. Adonai, have I had to put up with that noise for nothing? Not for nothing. The witness is correct, Your Honor. There's nothing suspicious about having a receiver installed on any of your devices, even if you aren't a cop. What's incriminating is the fact that Officer Rogers' device responded to the specific frequency of this whistle. Sorry, officer. A little blue birdie already told the court that you need to input a frequency in order to get alerts to it. Yeah, I know that. So does the whole force, in fact. What? I see. The hell is she reading over there? Officer Rogers, testifying about this anonymous tip that the police department received last night. Oh, boy. I haven't seen this submission myself, but it came through the department network straight to everyone's inboxes. Be advised, anonymous tip suggesting potential Orca analog chatter at the frequency listed below. You're fucking kidding me. You're kidding me. Really? You've got to be fucking me in the ass, by Jesus. Patrol officers in lower wards use this information at your discretion. That's absurd. What's the point of informing every cop in the city about a secret communications channel? The Blue Bloods would find out their line is compromised within minutes. Would they? I don't know. I don't control how anonymous tips get handled. But as soon as you got an email telling you there might be criminal communications occurring at a random frequency, you tuned into it right away. Believe it or not, I'm a little concerned about criminal communications these days. I haven't seen my partner murdered by an orca right in front of me, barely 24 hours before nearly getting shot myself. Back up. You saw the moment of your partner's death. That's news to the court. You know what I mean! Your Honor, the tip was submitted, and the frequency was spread throughout the police department network. Likely because the blue bloods believed it to be compromised, having already been used at a scene where 4 of their members died. Officer Rogers may have the receiver app on his phone, but so do many other police officers in the city. The app doesn't provide timestamps of when frequencies are added, so there's no proof of when his phone first started listening for the frequency. Neither he nor his partner were members of the organized crime units. Therefore, they have no criminal informants of their own, and they will not have obtained this frequency before the rest of the department. Since the defense cannot provide proof that the signal was acquired illegitimately, I never said I couldn't prove that. I can prove that. How? What? No. The officers couldn't have acquired that frequency. You're both illegal to possess. Found on text first 1 week ago. Magu. Registered fingerprints, Sosuke. Found on tank's person. Subject to possession of firearm showed signs of legal modifications. Subject to possession of suspect communications, software, and the shotgun. I think that sounds like it, because I got confiscated from it. We got frisked a week ago. The gun. What of it? Not just any gun. A Mag US, illegally registered to Angkor Time. And how do I know that? Because this gun was identified, scanned over a week ago, where Tanks was briefly detained by some well-meaning officers on patrol. The report, Officer TC in HR reported the following. Subject in possession of firearm in violation of parole, and suspect in possession of suspect communications software installed on personal phone. He wrote all of that in the report? You and your partner found the emergency frequency for Creek's pod over a week ago by skimming Tank's phone, and sat on it until last night, when you kindly dropped it off in the tip box. The hell are you even saying? Why would we frisk a perp, get good intel, and keep it to ourselves? For the same reason your partner might report a generic shots heard over the police network when he already knew exactly where to look. The same reason you'd be ecstatic at finding documents on Prop 492 at the site of an Orca bloodbath. You wanted your gold stars. You wanted to be first on the scene at the site of a blue blood massacre. Counsel is badgering, Your Honor, and losing her meager thread of logic in the process. The previous witness testified that there was, in fact, a silent alarm that night. A silent alarm that needs to be actively pressed. It could only have gone on before Creek's heart stopped. Said witness responded to the alarm by traveling on foot, and yet arrived well before Rogers and Chopin. The lure wards are maze-like, She could have been closer. That whistle has a limited range over which it can be perceived. You propose that Officer Rogers and Chapman were within the limited range at 9:45 p.m., yes? Obviously you do, or else you would never have received the frequency at all. So if person H is on foot and individual R is a police car, and they both receive a signal at the same time, and a train leaves Apple Town at 3 p.m., that seems like an irrelevant factor. All the court needs to consider is this. How could Officer Rogers and Chapman have possibly arrived later than someone traveling on foot if all three were within that range? Can't believe I took my geometry teacher that... And I told my geometry that none of that would ever be useful. This isn't geometry. God damn it. It's just... logic. The fact is, they did arrive later than Han. If I'm right about the motivation for Jonathan's actions that night, if he was sitting in his police car and suddenly got a notification telling him some blue bloods were having a life or death emergency, how would he react in that moment? It would seem that the defense does not have evidence available to address this contradiction, Your Honor. Evidence explaining exactly how Chapman proceeded to the crime scene. Do I have evidence of that? The question is evidence explaining exactly how Chapman proceeded to the crime scene. I don't think I have evidence for that specific thing. Autopsy. Autopsy don't tell me anything. Issue police department. It's not really wanted. That should be a biometer. Arrest. Was impaled behind. Okay, that's not it. That's not it at all. I don't think I have anything of that sort. Suspect. Remember motivation for Chapman's actions that night? If he was sitting in his police car and suddenly got notification on his phone, how would he react? Do I have evidence of this? How would I think he react? How do I think he reacted to getting that notification on his phone? I don't think I have anything for that. I don't think I have evidence for that. Regrettably, Your Honor, we do not have such evidence in our possession. But fortunately, Your Honor, we live in a surveillance police state. Pardon? And that makes it pretty easy to surveil police officers. Yay! Okay, good. I didn't fuck up. I was like, did I fuck up? I don't think because I don't have the evidence for that. But we can get it. The officer's patrol car, their cell phones, traffic cameras, and optics data. And the optics data. I could request any of it. Hell. Your Honor, I formally subpoena all of it. What? What? Can she do that? I am not sure. I'm still learning. Reese's drunken swipe at my front door reminded me exactly how much power the police have. But it was her dutiful checking in that made me realize just how hard it is to lose a cop in this city. Whatever it takes to answer this question for the court. After Officer Chopin reported that he heard shots fired at 9:45 p.m. Exactly how long did he and his partner do donuts in the parking lot before actually driving off the scene? Kind of a big ask for the defense, but entirely doable. Do the people object? The people, of course, object to any data collection effort that would be waste of taxpayers' money or a violation of their privacy. So we would prefer that the range of this request be narrowed somewhat. Now, perhaps from everything to something? Happy to do that, Your Honor. I promise not to act like a kid in a candy shop when browsing through. If you do this, if you subpoena that data, you'll just see me driving like a lethargic moron. Officer Rogers? He seems different. Oh, they recognize him. Agreed. I recognize this. His type. Soldier. Your Honor, what the defense is suggesting is largely inaccurate. Pardon? That's a first. Though there are some corrections I feel I should make at this time. Your objection here? No objections here. Officer Choppins is the one who discovered the frequency. Rebranded our anchor tang. Dawn even. He entered into entered into both our receiving he entered into both our receiver apps at the time without any knowledge. It wasn't until the night in question that he chose to inform me that the intel he had obtained and how he planned on acting on it. At 9:45 p.m., we received a signal. Before I could react, he had put out a notice at the police network that he had heard gunshots. It was at this time that he told me to drive towards Blue Blood territory. As he stated, tried to explain to me what he believed we would find, I chose to take a suboptimal route. We spent several minutes in traffic as he berated me for my sense of direction. So you both knew the silence alarm would lead you to some kind of blue blood emergency. But only you realized that meant you should take your time getting there. Logically, a silent alarm is triggered during the competition, not afterwards. I had no desire to walk into the crossfire of an orca gunfight without backup. You could have had backup easily. My partner had no desire to share intel, or how we obtained it. I apologize for the court, Your Honor, for being evasive or misleading during this proceedings. I intended to take full responsibilities for doing so. But I was not eager to admit the role of my own cowardice played in these events. Nor would I even want to imply the Officer Chopin was responsible, in any way, for his own murder. Very warm sentiments from the officer. Delivered with a voice as cozy as ice water. So you're telling the court that you and your partner arrived at what you expected to be a bloodbath, and you still shut the lock off a door and started stomping around inside while separated from one another? Respectfully, ma'am. Respectfully, ma'am. With the route I took, the time it took us to arrive, we expected to find all targets neutralized. And that expectation was reinforced when we arrived at the street and found the whole vicinity dead quiet. Yet we were still in the first on scene, despite my stalling for the time. I think that might have enthused my partner. He was excited, and I let him set the pace. It's my deepest regret that I agreed with his request to split up. First to arrive at the scene, we know that wasn't the case. A blue blood got there well before you and your partner. That's what you're talking about? The witness wasn't present for that individual's testimony. He's merely giving in facts as he knows them. And he can't have known that there was a blue blood in the building. On the contrary, he already testified about encountering them yesterday, as they made a not-so-silent retreat back into the alleyway. That was a blue blood making all that racket? I see. My partner, Choppin, he shouted that there was someone scrambling around down the alley not long before he was killed. He must have opened that window on the third floor to check. What? That's a new detail, Officer Rogers. Pardon me if I failed to mention it yesterday. It occurs to me that you weren't present in the courtroom when this other curious detail was brought to light. The fact that there was another weapon at the scene of the crime. A bloodied knife, which somehow... Hello? A bloody knife that somehow ended up down in the dumps. Know anything about that? No, ma'am, I do not. Laying down. Wrong move. But I do know Cyanus is a bunch of amateurs with conflicted priorities. Explain this to the court, then. Forensic analysis has already shown that this knife was the murder weapon used to stab Miller, getting a healthy amount of his blood on it in the process. It's also been established that this knife must have been what my client used to cut his own bindings. If you say so. If the evidence says so. If the defense isn't interested in asking the witness questions, perhaps we'll answer mine. What does that have to do with Officer Rogers? Everything, of course. Allow me to show you why. Boop, 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 boop. Why? Bruised welts. Arrived second on the scene, saw unlocked vault door, found Rogers arresting Sosuke. What does the knife have to do with Officer Rogers? My only guess is this. But does that really tell me anything? Let me look at London's testimony real quick. Testimony raised around second pair. Officer had already represented the subject, and we focused on securing area. Session and I cleared the first floor. The Rogers room were empty, but testified that he and Detective Rice arrived at the second pair of the officers. Rogers had already apprehended the suspect, so we focused on searching the area. And then medical records. Sosuke's medical records. Sosuke's medical records. Medical records. Medical. There we go. Never had a scene of crime. Just eroded blood, various sources, crossing arteries, body, numerous bones, and lacerations. Lacerations across left hand. Internal bleeding throughout the torso. Bruised, rope burns. Numerous bruises on interior, front side of the body. Other blood across top foot. Left large wound found on crown of skull. Back of head near top. At time of booking, numbers of additional injuries were noted. Bruised left eye, busted lip, broken nose, blunt trauma. I doubt the whistle would do anything. My guess is a testimony. My guess is London's testimony. Arrived second scene. Found Rogers arresting Sosuke. I'm gonna go testimony. We know for a fact that Sosuke had to use that knife to cut his bounds. And Detective London had testified that Rogers apprehended Sosuke alone. So why can't the officer have apprehended the man last known to be using the knife? This knife. Tell us how it ended up in the alley. That is a question well worth asking the witness. I have no idea what you're talking about. When I found your client, he had the maggots, and he had the sword. The sword he had stuck through my partner. This knife you're talking about, where'd you find it? In the trash. Down in the alley. Well, then some crime scene tech idiot would have thrown it out, thinking it was bio waste, or some scientist lackey tossed it as a prank. I wouldn't know, because I spent hours being debriefed in that room on the 3rd floor where they set up the arcs. I spent all night in a room with my partner's corpse. Never took a trip down to empty the recycling bin. We know the knife was there with Sosuke at one point, and we know it ended up down the alley later. So, it stands to reason that someone had to walk it downstairs and out the building. If Rogers never left that room all night, then someone else must have moved it. Could he have removed the knife? Realistically speaking, could he have removed the knife? And when does ARCs get set up again? ARCs, programmed, distributed, small, after its introduction. Remembers, ARCs. Investigation which data harvested sensors worn by the sensors worn on first responders is used to reconstruct a digital copy of a pristine crime scene. Programmed to distributed by small networks and even the ARC system police. So, it wasn't taken out by anyone afterwards. It had to have been taken out before ARCs was established. Right? In the alley? Well, then some crime scene tech idiot must have thrown it out. Because I spent hours being briefed in that room on the 3rd floor while they set up the arcs. Spent all night in the room with my partner's corpse. Never took a trip down to empty the recycling bin. And the knife was with Sosuke at one point. We know it ended up down the alley later. So it stands to reason that someone had to walk it down. Okay, so he totally have removed it. Someone else had to. You're right, Sarah. He had to remove the knife from that room. Not unless he... Yeah. That could work. Add an A. 0 points for your answer, Sarah. 0 points again. And 0 points for me, too. God damn it! Oh, that processing power, and you can't manage to think in 3D. It doesn't matter if Officer Rogers stayed in that room all night, Your Honor. All anyone needed to do to dispose of the knife was step out onto the fire escape and drop the knife down into the barrel, waiting below. Okay. So the thing is, I thought about that. But also, someone would have noticed him do that. In theory. Right? The thing is, only he could have done that, I think. Because no one after Arthur said would have done it. Which I should have pressed him on that. I knew I should have pressed it, but I wasn't sure. It was either him or the person who killed him. Killed Chopin. They could have been the same person as well. I feel bad. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. I could go back. No, I gotta say it's come this trial. No need to leave the 3rd floor. No need to leave the crime scene at all, Officer Rogers. What kind of trick shot bullshit are you talking about? That is a long drop, Your Honor. A straight drop. Gravity's convenient like that. The target was a small drum in a dark alley was on fire. That drum was burning when the police arrived. The target would have had been plainly lit and... I've taken both your arguments into consideration. After much deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that the proposed method of removing the knife from the 3rd floor is not actually that hard to do. Assuming a modicum of hand-eye coordination and a basic understanding of Newtonian physics. Well, obviously. Couldn't anyone manage that? Sorry. Practice master artists who are mastered in every muscle of the body, individuals like yourself. And me. We love Sarah. Pat, 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 pat. Might find it hard to relate. But there are some who will struggle with the task. Yourself and I. Wait. Hand-eye coordination. Eloquently put, Your Honor. So you must agree that someone with hand-eye coordination, so bad that they hold the record for the worst marksmanship in the entire police department. Someone with such poor aim that they opted to physically assault a target rather than shoot them. Someone like that might find it impossible to pull that off. Check. Check. Are you talking about me? She's talking about me, Your Honor. And while I find her tone unflattering, none of what she said is false. Apologies that dropping the knife from the fire escape didn't occur to me as a possibility. It just must be that, for me, personally, such a method of compromising a crime scene is not unthinkable. It's impossible. Of all the stupid details to come back and bite me in the ass. The piss poor aim that London mentioned. Is it possible for Officer Rogers faked his poor aim at the Academy? It's easy to not hit your target. But why would he intentionally flunk a shooting test years ago to give himself such a strange alibi here today? He didn't flunk his test. He got the very lowest score you could possibly get while still being certified. Good lord! You have to be trying to... If his goal was to receive the exact minimum number of points needed to pass, his margin of error would actually be much smaller than anyone simply doing their best. But then, what about when he first saw me? It's true that any other cop who saw me standing over their dead partner would have just unloaded me. Instead, he ran up and hit me. He's not actually that bad a shot. Why am I still alive? That's the story Rogers has been telling so far. That he, instinctually, didn't bother to fire. His gun wasn't discharged. And Sosuke's got the bruises. So he accepted that line of reasoning. But if I assume he's more dangerous than he's led us to believe, why wouldn't he have just shot Sosuke when he had the chance? He could have told his fellow officers whatever story he liked afterwards. And we wouldn't even be having this trial. I feared for my life. That's all he's needed to say. That's all he'd need to say. Under what circumstances would it have been impossible for him to claim that? Your Honor, I'm reminded just now that my client and the witness were in a physical altercation. Apprehended a murdered suspect, yes. Surely you weren't suggesting I used unreasonable force? If anything, you used unreasonably little. Not at all. But I imagine things happened fairly fast. Is it possible that a knife on Sosuke's person may have been knocked away into a corner during that moment? What are you... It may have? I can't say I would have necessarily noticed something clattering on the floor. I was trying to cover a violent perp. Perhaps, Your Honor. The witness ought to testify about everything he recalls from the moment he confronted my client. Jogging his memory might be the only way we can address these gaps in our knowledge. No objections. Then let's hear it. Good versus evil. Man versus machine. Cops versus robber. Okay, I'm gonna go grab myself some tea. I'll be back in a minute. Look at the lovely lady in the meantime. The lovely adjutant while I go BRB. Alright, I returned. I want some tea. You guys sip it as well. Ooh, that's so hot. Hell yeah. Love some hot tea. Ooh, that's good. Ooh. Ooh. Alright. Alright. Cautious as rabbits. I'm not a machine. Or a robber. Don't worry. Don't worry, Sosuke. If need be, Adene would go through a whole trial just to prove you're a machine. What kind of joke is that? A meta joke. Don't worry, Sosuke. You don't get it. You wouldn't get it. This was a joke. Built up for over at least half a year. Yoru. Fire escape. Sosuke's medical records. When that blue blood fled down the fire escape into the alley, I poked my head out the second floor window. Then I heard a sickening thump from above, on the third floor, where I knew my partner was. With Leia drew my service weapon and rushed upstairs, where I saw the defendant standing over. He was shocked. I was shocked when he was suddenly clearly injured and the sword was stuck before he knew it. He turned to me with a dull shock just as I whipped my pistol butt into his forehead. And collapsed after that. The room was a mess. My blood was pumping. If I had dropped a knife at that time, I wouldn't have noticed. Despite his change in posture, he's still telling the same story. Yeah, he hasn't changed his tune. But he is giving much more detail than ever before. And one of those details is about to bite him in the ass. Okay. That's fine. That's true. I rushed to stairs where I saw the defendant standing above my partner's dead body. Okay. I was shocked, but he was clearly and the sword was stuck. Before I knew it, he was running. Collapsed after that, and the room was a mess. The room was pumping. I dropped the knife at the time, I wouldn't have noticed. Okay, my bullet points are Yoru. The sword was stuck. My things were Yoru, his, what's it, what was that one? Yoru, I think it's not classified as Yoru on here, it's classified as katana or something, Sosuke's katana. Medical records, forehead. Wait. Crown of the skull, back of the... Ooh. There it is! Forehead, medical records. Yeah. We got you, bitch. We got you, bitch. Defendant was standing over the body. And the sword was stuck. With my pistol butt into his forehead. Medical record, bitch! Sounds very brave, Officer Rogers. But that's physically impossible. How would you have knocked my client out with one strike to the forehead, when it was the back of his head that was injured? What are you talking about? Yesterday he had bruises across his entire... Yesterday he had bruises across the whole entire body! Exaggeration. That doesn't hold up to the scrutiny of his actual medical record. Largest wound found in the crown of the head. The crown, as in the top of the back of the head. The butt of a pistol leaves a surprisingly specific impression on the human body. Officer Rogers. I assume Dr. Sato was still in the building. Perhaps we should call her back and have her examined in Michael Anton's stand. Sosuke, you'll have to remove your shirt. You get my head checked? That would be a waste of time, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan has taken advantage of some rather vague wording in the medical records to make her argument. Largest wound. But the fact is, the defendant was covered in various bruises all over his body when he was taken into the custody, including on the front of his skull. She's not wrong. I still remember every ache. It's entirely possible that when Officer Rogers struck the defendant all in the forehead, the blow was glancing, but still hard enough to knock the defendant backwards. And he had fallen backwards hard. He very easily could have sustained a large wound on the crown of his head. At the moment he hit the ground. Respectfully, Your Honor, that's ultimately not something either the people nor the defendant are experts on. But even if we were, neither of us could examine wounds that are no longer visible. Sosuke's injuries, they've mostly healed as of this morning. Well, the injection helped you sleep really well last night, Sosuke. Your Honor, as I see it, either we could extend this trial indefinitely. Both the people in the defense flying an X-ray specialists and contusion analysts to argue back and forth about fracture lines. Or we could accept the events more or less took place as the witness described. He hit the defendant on the head, and then the defendant fell backwards onto the floor. If the head wounds open to interpretation, then let me look at the medical records before I press anything again. Various sources across the interior front of the body, bones thin, internal bleeding, a bruised rope burns, bruises interior body, top of feet, large wound. Now time booking numerous injuries, left eye, lip, nose, trauma to front right side of head. When aware that these injuries were sustained are not noted. It could support his story, I guess. I'll look at his story real quick again. Can I go back that far? I can, okay. Third floor, versus we had true partner, dead body. I wish anyone ran into the body, is shot completely injured, sort of stopped before I knew it. I was running at him. Turned to me with a dull shock just as I whipped my pistol across his forehead. Sounds very brave, Officer Rose, but it's physically impossible. No. And second and third, what was that after that? Collapsed after that, and the room was a mess. My blood was pumping. I guess I could support the date. I guess the data could support it. It is possible that events took place exactly as Rogers described. But if that's the case, Sosuke would have fallen onto his back. And yet the medical records tell us that he was covered in blood on the front of his body. I should have pressed it then. Fuck. Officer Rogers claims that Sosuke was hit on the forehead and fell backwards. But what would he have fallen onto? In that room? Probably blood, guts, yuck. You're exactly right. All kinds of first happenings in the courtroom today. He would have gotten blood across his back. Does the medical record say he got blood on his front? Does it? Did I miss that? Oh, I missed this part. The very first part. Okay. Oopsies, I'm dumb. But that's not how he looked when he was arrested. The medical report clearly states that he had blood on the front of his body. Telling us that Sosuke could only have fallen forward. And what of it? Maybe he did. Maybe he turned his head weird while trying to dodge. Things happened fast. Don't try to bullshit a bullshitter. Fast enough that you may have, in fact, actually struck my client from behind. Yeah, maybe. Took him by surprise when he was no threat to you. What? No? Easy target, knockout, at that point. Makes sense why you wouldn't use lethal force in that scenario. No, he was... The guy's got nearly a full body on me. Full head on me. True. True. I don't deny it. Which makes it highly unlikely the witness would have simply hit him on the crown. If things happened as you say, and he had the elements of surprise, he would have simply aimed for the easiest target possible. The one easiest to reach, the center of the bone of the skull. Not quite. Excuse me? I never said that my client was standing up when this happened. You mean he was asleep? No. Consider that he was struck on the ground of his head. It's obvious that at the time, Sosuke Ikara was bent over. My client must have been bent over. He was bent over where the witness came from behind him and... Adonai! What? Why are you interrupting me now? Because I thought you wouldn't want to know you were about to phrase things in a way that would sound very silly. My client must have been bent over. He was bent over when the witness came from behind him. Oh, my poor defense witness, unaware, taken up from behind. What are you talking about? Sarah's right, Morgan. You should let her take this one. What? It was when Sosuke bent over to pick up Yaru. That's when Officer Rogers struck Sosuke on his crown. As I've said, the one thing I do remember, besides walking out there, was picking up my sword. Picking it up off the ground. Having your android argue the weaker points for you now, Counselor? Not exactly the bravest tactic. Tactics are for freshening my breath. That's tic-tacs, actually. What can you claim is weak about the argument? Positioning. If your client really had walked out of that holding room and was then immediately hit from behind, where could his assailant have possibly been standing? Sosuke had to get out of those bindings first, and then pushed open the door. And he would have been concerned with keeping quiet as he went. There would have been plenty of time for someone to hear him rummaging around in there, and figure out where they could hide. In the corner of the room, here. That doesn't work. If that was the case, your client would have fallen face first here. But instead, he was apprehended here, in the center of the room. Hey, makes sense to me. Looks like he dropped like a sack of potatoes by the door, sure. But then he was dragged to the center of the room. Would explain the streaks of blood and see where discovered on the floor. So those weren't left by him gliding his feet in order to move silently. I was hoping to learn that technique. Your Honor, I fear the defense may not realize the weight of the implications of her statement carries. If, as she claims, Sosuke Karya was knocked unconscious by Officer Rogers the moment he walked out into the room, then Michael Elias never had any opportunity to stab Derek Chopin in the back. The only remaining individual who could possibly have killed him would be me. Yes. Any thoughts on that, officer? There's one thought that's been frustrating me for some time, actually. One I expected the prosecutor to voice, but perhaps I misjudged her. You what? None of what you're saying makes any sense. You say I hid in the corner to surprise Sosuke, and then I then what? Stuck up on Chopin? How could I do any of that if I was downstairs at the time Chopin was killed? At the time Sosuke killed him. That's not... It's not that. The thought hadn't occurred to Emma, you idiot. Is that once I address this point, your entire testimony falls apart. And the truth of the case becomes crystal clear. There's no misunderstanding on my part, and I suspect none on the part of the people either. Because the truth is, when you and your partner arrived, you must have immediately taken the lead. Fallen behind. KO Chopin. The truth is, when you and your partner arrived, you must have mutually taken the lead. Fallen behind. Okay. Think this thing. Other than fought any partner. What's that trust point? Taken the lead? You might want to soldier mode, I assume, maybe. You was one who took the point, not your partner. Excuse me? Chopin shot open the lock. Sure, I believe that. He was the one all gung-ho about coming there, anyway. But after entering, you were ahead of him, while he covered you. What? You already told us you wanted to stall. Wait for backup. If Chopin charged forward, you couldn't slow him down. But if you went first, you could go as slowly as you liked, and Chopin would be forced to match your pace. You were the one who cleared the room and shut it down that everyone was dead. told you. I testified. You, so did your blue blood's tale. Testified all about how you and your partner separated on the second floor. Objection. Mischaracterization of testimony. The witness and the defense is referring to did encounter two officers, but the witness never identified either of them. The blue blood didn't need to. All they were waiting to hear was whether any blue bloods were alive. So after Roger shouted down that that everyone was dead, they bolted out the second floor window. And more chopping, shouted someone was in the alley. Officer Rogers opened the window behind Creek's body to try and spot the runner. Then he ran down the fire escape to try and follow them, only to give up when he saw that there was no ladder to get down with. It's entirely possible that Chopin yelled that someone was in the alley from the third floor. The scene of the crime is soundproof, remember? No one in that room would notice a commotion in the alley unless they already opened the windows to check it. So, since Chopin yelled about it, he had to have been the officer who stayed on the second floor. This blue blood rat of yours just misheard. Or they're lying. There's no proof in any of this. Yes, there is, officer. Not that one. Steve Rapp, no. That scrap paper was found by the second floor windowsill. But it's not just any scrap paper. It matched the red ink documents that were found where the pod died. It happened to have a partial blueprint on it, proving that someone stomped from the crime scene down the fire escape and into the second floor. That doesn't prove anything. Your client could have left that blueprint. My client was arrested barefoot, remember? You should. You did the arresting. Then maybe Chopin... If Chopin was the one who brought the scrap down from the third floor, that would put him behind you. Meaning, you could have walked in on him being attacked by Sosuke. Counselor! Even if we accept that Rogers was on the third floor and then moved down the second, the sequence you've described ends with both officers united on the second floor, with neither of them dead. But obviously Chopin did proceed to the third floor because that's where he was killed. So now we're back where we started. Back where we started? Back where we started. You're forgetting one key detail in this new sequence of events. At the time of the officers reunited on the second floor, my client was already unconscious. Meaning, the only person who had a chance to kill Officer Chopin was, in fact, none of this shit happened. This lawyer's trying to accuse me of killing my partner. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would I do something like that? Depends. What? Depends where you live. Not uptown, I assume. What's it to you? Single bedroom? Yeah, whatever. Not great. Excuse me? And having to ride around all day with some insufferable, spoiled rich stick in the mud. Knowing the whole time that you, your job, your whole goddamn police department It was all just bulletproof points on his resume. Counselor's battering the witness in lieu of making an actual argument. Apologies, Your Honor. State the motive plainly. Proposition 492 was corrupt. Blue bloods and worse would profit off it at the city's expense. But it would also bring economic relief and badly needed repairs to the lower wards. It might also stop the canopy from, just falling down and crushing everybody who lived there. But a climber like Chopin wouldn't care about any of that. Every photo I've seen of this guy is at a big, stern frown. Even look at his fucking profile. Look at this fucker. He's so stern, frowning, not happy at all. But I bet he was grinning ear to ear when he found that red ink. Must have made you sick to your stomach. So you killed him. And then you bled him like a pig to try and destroy the documents he'd been flattered. He'd had flattered all over town. You're crazy! That's not possible! Do people have anything to add? Emma hates losing. But she's not stupid. She must be getting sick of having to cover for this. Officer Rogers. You were the one who entered the third floor first, weren't you? What is she doing? Yes. How long were you there before your partner alerted you that someone escaping through the alley? More than 2 minutes. Less than 3. You had a chance to start looking the room over? Yes. And did you see anything as politically explosive as what the defense has described? No. Nothing of the sort. Your Honor, the witness is blatantly lying. We know the documents were there. We know Chopin found them, because they were found underneath his corpse. And it is the defense's theory that he was killed because of those documents. Because he would have tried to make them public. Essentially? Yes. That's the defense's proposed motive for this man to kill his partner. Yes. I see. But why would he have prepared to kill his partner for reading documents left out on a desk, when he had over 2 minutes to simply get rid of them beforehand? Check. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's a good point. Ooh. Help? A damn good question, Your Honor. Do we have an answer for it? I'm getting there. I'll get there. I'm close. His layers are falling apart. Not lawyers. His layers are falling apart like an onion, but worse. This is a cold guy. Cold enough to walk into that room, knock out Sosuke, and start calmly looking around. So, is he lying? Did you actually see those papers? No. Emma's right. The papers were in plain view. He'd have just tucked them into his jacket. If the papers were in plain view, were they? Ugh, I don't remember. Where the hell did I put them? If not on the desk. I remember taking them out of Creek's safe thinking they were nothing important, so I just... Okay. That's probably how one page got left where I could stick at the bottom of Roger's boots. Before I left, I reorganized things. Tried to make it seem like I was never there, so I stacked things neatly. Yoo-hoo! Counselor! Any cookies in or around the nest? Pardon me, Your Honor. I was simply overthinking, to be honest. Officer Rogers didn't dispose the red ink when he had the chance because he didn't notice the red ink. It's that simple. A simple answer to a simple question that simply doesn't measure up. If Officer Rogers didn't notice the red ink docs in the 2 minutes he had with the scene, how did his partner discover them so quickly? Neither of them were looking for illicit government documents on site of the gang shooting. Neither of them could want to start disturbing a crime scene where there was bodies and blood all over the room around. Correct. Rationally, neither officer would want to start making a mess of the scene. Something must have simply caught Officer Chopin's eye. Very bad luck on his part, as it turns out. You've gotta be! What the hell are you talking about? What could it have been? Sounds like a tough question to answer. But there aren't as many possibilities to sift through as you'd think, Your Honor. Because it would have something that caught Officer Chopin's eye, yet not that of his partner. In other words, something at the scene that Officer Rogers wouldn't recognize. Let me check this real quick. Does he have any? Oh, I can't tell. I actually can't tell. I was like, does he have any augmentations? I can't tell, actually. Your Honor, this is pointless. If the officers knew this was the site of orca violence from the alarm, and there was blood and corpses all over the damn place, and if the red ink docs were not in a plain sight amidst all that carnage, what could possibly have drawn Officer Chopin's attention to them? If I need to retrace Chopin's steps specifically, was there anything in the evidence recorded that he left a trace on? AB, B negative, A positive. Roja's B negative. Would have drawn Chopin's eye. Known only to rich. Okay, before that, I'm gonna quickly reach my mug for some tea. Run away! For tea. Alright, tea refilled. Let's slam the dark card on the table. Only rich people know what the fuck dark cards are, and Chopin is rich as fuck. When Rogers first entered the crime scene, he must have seen Karuk's datapad resting on top of some papers. You think the writing documents were beneath the datapad at the time? That would explain why Rogers didn't notice them, but that's only half an answer. And then how is this? It wasn't the datapad that drew Chopin's attention, Your Honor. It was the dark card that was stuck inside of it. The dark card? seems like little more than a fancy credit card to you, or I. But if you're rich enough, it's an unmistakable sign of powerful forces at play. Exactly the kind of thing that would put a gleam in the eye of the politically ambitious Officer Chopin. Right up until the moment he saw the bombshell hidden underneath the datapad. Your Honor, this speculation, Chopin's prints were discovered on the datapad, Your Honor. We know he must have picked it up. And that datapad was found by police on the desk, so we know he must have put it down. I'm merely proposing that he didn't put it back down in the exact same spot. Just because his dark card happened... Hey! Seriously? What the hell have you two been talking about? What the shit's a dark card? Cryptographically anonymous wallet card that rich people use to buy illegal drugs and gifts for their mistresses. Keyword is rich people. Not common knowledge. Unless you ran in circles as high up as the city council. Oh. Yeah, you're right. I didn't know that. Never heard of that. Assumed you were being literal. It is a dark card. Yeah, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Probably been going around picking up whatever he wanted at a crime scene without even radioing it first. Sounds about right. Bare hands. Mouth breathing. I was big on following the rules, just wasn't that good at remembering any of them. Not me, though. I have every rule. Follow them, too. Partner breaks a body cam. Or, of course, a new one. And then use mine. I'm getting sued. That ex-punk he bumps into. Real risk for him. He had money. People would sue him if he could. If they could. No one would try to sue Huey Rogers. The only thing the judge would award them would be my own goddamn debt. I don't think I'm bad with money. Just bad with debt. I never seem to get rid of the stuff. Even I am not so stupid that I wouldn't wear gloves at a goddamn crime scene. You mean? Obviously, counselor. From the minute we pulled onto that building until I was relieved from duty and sent home the next morning, I was wearing gloves. 3 stories of an alley in the alleyway. I can swear on my parents' graves I didn't contaminate 1 millimeter of it. Didn't. My greasy fingerprints on the windows, the doors, the murder weapons. You'll never know I was there. So you can say I did this, or claim I did that. The city's only ever gonna hear that some Ikarian bastard is a bunch of blue blood punks, and that Tarek Chopin died a hero trying to save the day. Right. Eldine, is that true? Is that possible? After all this, is it possible that... But the jury, sure they can see. The jury will see what the adjutant decides they need to see in order to properly render their verdict. If the adjutant comes to the conclusion that a witness or a line of questioning would only serve to confuse the jury. Adine, Your Honor, the jury. Give me a second to think here, girl. I'm trying to build consensus, and basically everyone's mad. So maybe the judges rule this in our favor. And maybe the jury sees things our way. But there are no guarantees. After all that, it just comes down to a gamble. Always does. Yeah. But you still get a chance to sculpt your head. Your hand, even. And I can do a little better than this pile of shit. Just have to take my licks first. Your Honor, I disagree. About what exactly? About all of this, about everything. Look, we know someone moved from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor via the fire skid because of that scrap of paper, which would have put them in the perfect position to walk up behind Chopin. And we know Chopin picked up the data pad because of his fingerprints are on it. So, we can reason Chopin was investigating the desk. The desk before he died. And of course, we know he died reading the red documents because, duh, his body was found collapsed on top of them. Put all that together and nothing. You still have nothing. Nothing except circumstantial evidence, tying this witness to a theoretical sequence of events. I fucking love this. I fucking love this beat. This BGM is fucking bang. I love this one so much. Like, it's so groovy. Let's take more to listen to this real quick. Fucking amazing. I love that. That's so good. Like, what the fuck? They fucking popped off. I love this. That's so good, anyways. Emma, did you get hit on the head too? What? We have Officer Rogers' fingerprints on the murder weapon. What? You'll need to go all in on unless you think your hand is crap. Put on a show. His prints were on the pistol used to bludgeon my client, of course. What? What are you... No, they weren't. As you said, he was wearing gloves. Also, that gun was never fired. What are you talking about? Now that you mention it, yeah. Shoot, did I get my notes mixed up? That's right, the bag. Did you think we wouldn't notice you left your fingerprints on it just because it was broken into splinter? The baseball bat used on Trey? Forensics failed to pull a single print from that. Is this your idea of a joke? Jeez, take it easy. I misspoke a little. Also, I don't have my reading glasses. What? The maggot that was used to kill tanks in Greek. Pretty stupid to forget to wipe your prints off a piece that gaudy, don't you think? Counselor, what is this? Are you throwing a tantrum? Making a mockery of the courtroom? The only prints on that gun belong to Sosuke Ikaria. Oh. Sorry. Guess I was thinking of another case. Is there perhaps a gas leak on the other side of the courtroom? AB negative. AB negative. Baby. Well, don't I feel stupid? What I've been trying to say is that Officer Rogers failed to notice that he left his fingerprints on the most important weapon of all. The very blade that took his partner's life. Enough of this embarrassment! What the hell is wrong with you? I knew a mob lawyer would be a corrupt and vile, but how can you be such a stupid bimbo? Do you think we're all idiots? My fingerprints aren't on that goddamn knife and you know it! My mistake. I can see. Yeah, yes. And yes. I was reading the fine details disappear. But your fingerprints are not on that knife. Sorry. You. Oh dear. Sorry. Oh dear. What? What is this? Oh, I guess we're all just wondering. How long have you known that it was this knife that was used to kill your partner? What? Confused? So, are these two? Because, like you, neither of them were in the courtroom when Dr. Sato updated their autopsy report. So I knew that Chopin was killed with this knife, with a knife. And so, and the people knew that Chopin was killed with a knife. But how did you know that? There must have been 50 cops in here when the doctor... Far fewer than 50. Actually, more like 0. We had already emptied the courtroom by then. A courtesy we extended to a blue blood witness. You... Some blue blood rat! You crazy Hoppy! Just trick me at this last second! You think I walked in here prepared? Of course not! She right there, Rockford, the prosecutor, before I took the stand, she told me all about the knife! Ah. So that's your plan. Right, Rockford? If I came in here, didn't you? It's almost great to feel a full house and a rake in the pot. It's even better to reveal a handful of shit you bluffed your way to victory with. Say something already! Just say it! But every now and then, a different kind of victory comes along. Where you just get to sit back and watch someone else self-destruct. Because they completely misread the dealer. Say it! Say it, you! Shut up! What? Just shut up! Isn't that hard? Are my instructions unclear? Do you need me to salute you first? Stop talking! You are completely, utterly, 100% guilty! Why the hell would I perjure myself to help you? Hey, counting. Because from this second on, every word that comes from your mouth adds directly to the number of years you're going to rot in jail. Unless those words are your confession. He's the Hound of Ikoria! He murdered the mob! We could put him away! They don't want to put him away! Not for your crime. Not for murdering the son of 2 city councilmen. Have you lost your goddamn mind? But he's a murderer. Well, not all murderers are created equally. Well, not all murderers are hunted equally. The ability assassinating each other? Let it ride! Keeps them divided. Orcas fighting in the lower wards? Let them sort it out. Keeps their numbers down. A monster shoots 6 women in the heart and leaves their evidence behind? Call us back when he kills someone important. Strange. Once she is properly infuriated, there's usually no stopping her. Well, if she's not going to twist the knife herself, I shouldn't let it go to waste. Your Honor, if the witness is having trouble choosing a place to start for his confession, perhaps I might help by laying out the details for him. You sadistic bitch! He was counting on Emma to step in. Now he's sliding down the rocky face of despair. Fingernails split and bloody as he attempts in vain to slow the descent. Not very dignified. So I won't leave him hanging. I'll be happy to speed him along. In summary, a week ago, you acquired a blue blood distress signal when you arrested Tanks, but your partner insisted on letting him go and keeping the code to yourself. So the night of the murder, when the alarms went off, you jumped at the chance to be the first unit on the scene at what could be a gang shootout. You did all you could to stall, but your partner pressed on and even shot open the door in his hurry to get into the locked building. You made him an excuse to keep him on the 2nd floor and proceeded to the 3rd on your own, relieved that everyone was already dead. And puzzled by the delirious Sosuke, who you knocked out with one blow to the back of the head. But by calling down your partner to convince him you were already too late, you alerted an orca hiding downstairs. And when they fled out the window and down the alley, you opened the window at the crime scene to give chase. While you were scanning the alley for the 2nd floor fire escape, your partner proceeded upstairs, where he was just as stunned as you were, but intrigued by the presence of a dark card you'd never recognized. He knew that it pointed towards the involvement of powerful parties. It was simply bad luck that he found the red ink before you. But he must have felt like he'd won the lottery. He was the one man in the city who would benefit from the most from exposing the corruption that it hinted at. He must have been salivating at the opportunity right in front of you. Standing in the blood without a second thought. You had taken life from Sosuke. Hadn't even thought about it up until that point. You knew once the rest of the force arrived, there'd be no stopping the writing and going on the record. You had one chance to blot it out for good. That's all! That's all a lie! Just smoke and mirrors, tricks and guesswork. The Hound Vicario is standing right there next to you. The Blue Blood themselves even tried to kill him, right in front of all of you. No, they didn't. Excuse me? I have it on very good authority. The Blue Bloods wouldn't want my client assassinated. Oh, I'm sure. So consider where the shooter was, and the direction he was aiming. The only person he could have been aiming at would be, well, you. What the hell are you talking about? Seems like the old guard wanted to make sure they'd be a swift punishment for letting Proposition 492 blow up. So, you can keep protesting your innocence if you want. It might work out. And you might be able to avoid the next Blue Blood to come after you. And the next after that. You might survive just long enough to end up the next casualty in a tragically unavoidable case of friendly fire. Your Blues coming after you from above and below. Who gets there first is a coin toss. So, tell me, you feeling lucky? Well, you. Any questions? You and Miss Yay, your officer. You're both. You're all out of your damn minds. Phones. Do you work for the Blue Bloods? Never thought of it that way. Even back when I was a kid, I thought they were just another institution. Like a neighborhood watch, people looking out for each other. Everyone's parents off working or enlisted or in jail for disobedience. Old neighborhoods that cops, medics, goddamn firemen wouldn't set foot in. Didn't see it as transactional. Thought it was just leaking a hand. My blood worth shit. My blood ain't worth shit. I wasn't useful enough to be a young blood. Not good looking to be a host. So I kept going to school. They let me pay for it. Because it was in fact transactional, they expected to get something in return. Police Academy. The man on the inside. Wasn't exciting as it sounds. Made sure it wasn't. Test scores sucked. Aptitude sucked. Clumsy and boring. Made sure no one would want to give me anything important to do. Valuable enough that the Blue Bloods wouldn't out me. Not valuable enough that the cops would give me anything worth passing on. World's worst double agent. So bad that his job, he'd never be expected to double-cross anyone. Imagine the look on my face when my reputation for nothingness gets me paired up with the worst babysitting job in the force. Derek Chopin. Well, we were perfectly matched in a way. I didn't want to be near nothing. Nobody wanted to let him near anything. Nothing dangerous enough to get him hurt. Nothing real enough that he'd go blabbering to his dad's. We went around to schools. Those are the jobs we'd get. Building security. Morning assemblies. Telling the kids what cops do. Here's how to call for help. We were a goddamn joke. There are worse things to be. You think I don't know that? You think I give a shit that kids were laughing at us in the back of the class? The teens were throwing soda cans at our cars. Good for them. At least they were having fun. Tarek was never having fun. He was just burning inside. Humiliation and bile. That's like full of it. If he hadn't found the code on Tank that day, I don't know. I would have either put in his 2 weeks notice or just drawn his gun and walked into the nearest worker mansion. So, you two arrived at the building. Happened like the Defense Academy said. I told Chopin some same bullshit about something contraband on the 2nd floor. Started poking around, and I went straight to the 3rd floor because that's where the bosses would hang out back when I was a kid. Where they'd give us spare change to buy their groceries and pick up their laundry. Never met this creek or this pod in my life until we stopped Angerton, different gens. I'd never seen anything like that bloodbath in that room. All 4 of the pods were dead when I got there. Believe me. Don't believe me. I know how to be Karya. I don't even think he could have done that either. Considering how he stumbled out that water closet like a bloody water balloon. I did whack him on the back with the head, but my hand, to God, I'm not convinced it did anything. Race down the blood, all like that. Could have woke him up with a nuke. When the hound dropped, I searched him, found the protocol. Found that knife in his hand. I called down so everyone was dead. That blue blood bolted. Tarek called after them. And yeah, I opened the window and tried to follow. Guess Tarek didn't know the ladder was out. Figured I would chase him down. Because by the time I stepped back inside, he was upstairs. And I walked up those stairs expecting him to be puking, crying, shaking, I don't know. Instead, he starts yelling down, happy, ecstatic. He can't believe this. Scoop of the century. And I realize I know what he's talking about. Your blue blood superiors let you know about Prohibition 492. Lots of people knew the deal with Prohibition 492. Even non-blooded civvies. Nothing wrong with any of that, so long as it stayed a rumor. So long as the state didn't know, we knew where the pillars were going to be built. It was a nice thing, believe it or not. People in the lower wards whispering about big money coming in. A little excitement to look forward to. Eric was excited too. All he could see was forward, barely reading the words in front of his eyes. Not giving a shit anything behind him. Not caring about what he was trembling over. I didn't plan on doing anything that matters, if you care. I was moving slowly, but I wasn't trying to hide. I just was taking it off the hand. I still had that knife. That goddamn knife in my hand. You all seem like educated people, so I take it none of you all believe in evil. You believe in evil down the lower wards. like a fog. Hangs around certain people, places. Poured off that knife like a water fountain. The devil made you do it? Haven't heard that one in a while. If it wasn't for that dark card being there. You know, Tarek told me once that he wanted to become a mayor. I just did this stupid fake laugh and told him he had my vote. I didn't know why I did that. I shouldn't have done that. Laughed at him. Should have lied to him. And so, Your Honor, the people will be dismissing the charge of homicide on the first degree with prejudice. So what does that mean? They can't charge you with Officer Chopin's murder. Again, at a later date. They can't charge you for Officer Chopin's murder at a later date, just because they found more evidence. And for the 4 charges of second-degree homicide, we will be dismissing the 4 charges of second-degree homicide without prejudice. Which is not quite convinced I couldn't have killed Creek's pod. Miller's blood having already been on the knife you used to get free in the first place was pretty huge. Combined with Rogers admitting that you basically stumbled out a walking corpse. But, the way the state sees it, their murders aren't any more solved than they were at the beginning of this trial. It's to be expected. Then the jury will be dismissed. This court will be adjourned. And you, Mr. Ikaria, are free to go. Everything that's happened to you the last few days. How was that? Leaving you so shocked? I'm not shocked. I'm just... I'm just grateful, Counselor. You have my... Your Honor, is there perhaps something else you wanted to say? Well, you can insist. I guess for some reason, even though the jury's been dismissed, it's actually their job to do this part and the charges were dropped. Have the strong overwhelming urge to say, not guilty. That needs to be much bigger. Maybe I cast innocence? Actually innocent? No, that sounds dumb. Not guilty. 4:56 p.m. August 16th, 2086. State building. Floor 48. So, do you plan on celebrating? Not today. Me one, in case you somehow missed it. And one, so definitely, the police and even the Blue Bloods can't hold a grudge. Right. My apologies, I'm grateful to you, of course. It's just that I still haven't forgotten to answer the question that's been haunting me. Even more so than whether or not I killed Chopin. Someone slaughtered Creek's entire pod. Then they had my life in the palm of their hands and inframed you, Sosuke. I don't think they were doing you any favors. And yet they did. They let me live. It feels strange, or everything to someone so unknowable. Well, You'll have plenty of time to think on it, spending the rest of your life hiding your head in the sand. Ignoring the vast riches that's untapped in a savings account across the sea. Atene, he's made his stance quite clear. I don't intend to hide, Morgan. The Blue Bloods can try whatever they like. And they can find me standing right where I have always stood. Protecting my family. Seems there's someone who'd like to speak with you about just that. Sosuke? Young master! Young master. Please forgive me, young master. I failed you, repeatedly. I'll accept any punishment. Very well. 180 years of manual labor. Oh. Yeah, that's about as merciful as I expected. At least he picked a good number. 100 and... Of course, young master. You'll need to spend that sentence serving as my head of security. But I know you're actually doing it. And that means you won't be able to do other jobs anymore. Even ones that the elders ask you to do. Even delivering messages. It's a punishment handed down by the heir of the noble house Ikaria, Sosuke. Who could possibly overrule it? As you say. I'll start right away. If you don't mind. That's probably wise. Grandfather is outside in the motorcade. He's had nothing but criticism for the current information. Confirmation. The chairman is here? He came here? Probably just happened to be on his way to the airport. He is, Councilman Morgan. It's probably astute of you. Though he is leaving quite early, if he just wants to get in the airport. None of our private planes are even fueled. It seems... Whoop, I just pulled my fucking water on the floor. It seems to be a universal truth that all people like to get to the airport early. That sounds very wise. Sarah of House Paralegal. Who are you quoting? That sounds very wise, Sarah of House Paralegal. Who are you quoting? Then, you excuse me for a moment, Counselor. Yeah, feel free to. Take Sarah with you. Pardon? If you don't let her look at your tattoo now, you'll never read the end of it. Yeah, well, that's... Tattoo? Says Sarah. Right then. I'll, find a corner in which to lift up my shirt. Give me a second for something. There it is. Insult. Congratulations, Counselor. You succeeded on all fronts. Thanks. Not satisfied? Makoto seems to be in a good mood. You ask him for a bonus now. Shouldn't I just negotiate with my employer directly? You're the one who hired me, aren't you? At the very least, you're the one who put my name forward to Makoto. It's easier to see. It's easy to see, looking back. Looking back, you're the only one who's acted in Sosuke's interest this entire time. Who isn't a child. And? What of it? Why me? Why does that matter? Because I value my privacy. I want to know why a woman like with your resources, would put an ant like me. Put an ant like me under your magnifying glass. Such cruel metaphors you employ. Someone who values their privacy that much should, in the future, avoid directly confronting the board of multinational corporations. Noble's board directors. You were. Not among them, myself. But when one woman shifts the opinion of a room that's stagnant, even by 8 millimeter, word gets around. My, you really are a shy little girl. Now putting the genie back in the bottle, but I won't recommend you to anyone else if it bothers you that much. Thanks. Though, you can be pretty shy yourself, letting Makoto take all the credit. Why the subterfuge? I've already overextended myself in this matter. A woman, from my side of the house, intruding upon the IFG's business? I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that I'll have to rip out fingernails in front of the elders as recompense. But I thought I might spare myself the additional pinky or so. You're being literal, aren't you? Disobedience always has a cost. Especially in old families. Especially for daughters. But not flinching as you pay the toll carries its own kind of power, don't you think? Maybe I'll just try to dress up my cowardice as dignity. Disobedience used to come naturally to me. It gets harder the older you get. Harder to believe your independence wasn't just immaturity. That's why I'm glad Makoto's such a good boy. I don't want him to feel any guilt later in life. Yes, Makoto certainly takes his responsibilities seriously. Can't imagine where he got that from. And I was such a hellraiser. He must get it from his father. I suppose it's an interesting mark below Sosuke's eye. Looks like a mole, but it seems to be hereditary. Does Mikado know Sosuke is his father? Does Sosuke? I would be very disappointed in Sosuke's intelligence if he didn't. That's why Sosuke left the family during the military, wasn't it? Why he asked to become the Hound when he came back. Self-imposed exile for interfering in your arranged marriage. Interfering. We were younger then. We still knew what we were doing. So, here's the thing. I did ship them. I did ship them. Even though it's weird because they're kind of adopted siblings. They had that dynamic. The tension was there. So I'm not surprised that, this happened. Lol. Fascinating turn of events, to say the least. Interesting, to say the least, indeed. Quite the interesting turn of events. We were younger then. We still knew what we were doing. We knew there was no stopping the marriage. We didn't cover up the pregnancy, others would. Or just eliminate the problem themselves. Sosuke left before the bridal shower. Such an enlistment, certainly, but I don't blame him for not wanting to be there on guard duty as I married another man. If Mikoto is Sosuke's son, though, that means he carries his blood. If he stands to inherit from both his father and mother, his words. I understand this is going to be hard for you to not believe, coming from a woman like me. Makoto's already worth enough. He has his health. He has his mother. And his father will always be close by. Every moment we shared as a family is worth its weight in gold. And as you've now seen, when given the opportunity to choose between Makoto and the blue blood fortune, Sosuke chooses the former. He, you, all of you. You can have it all. Why don't you want it all? We already have it. I see. You don't understand, do you? I hope you do. Someday. Let's get back to something I fully understand then. Marketing. One blood test from Makoto could split your precious house right down the middle. Your husband will be infuriated, assuming he has a pulse, and whatever connections you married him for will burn up in seconds. So, unless you guarantee me that I'm free to turn down any job. Don't make unnecessary threats, counselor. It makes you look weak. Take it from someone with experience. You're always free to leave the house. But if you find yourself slinking back, don't be too hard on yourself about it. It's just what the house does. Now, would you excuse me? Sosuke seems to have satisfied your companion's curiosity for the time being, and it's very rare for him to have any time to himself. You understand, do you? Counselor Morgan. Emma? What's that look for? So, that's 2 wins for me now, isn't it? After Rogers went nuts and perjured himself all over the place, you're calling that shit show a win? It definitely wasn't a loss. You're ridiculous. Thanks, by the way, for letting things play out as long as they did. I imagine you wanted to put the brakes on things a number of times back there. But now it's all out. My client won't be getting knifed by cops or blue bloods. At least, not for anything he didn't do. You think I was happy to let the Hound of Ricardo walk out of my courtroom? Your courtroom? I'll have the word with the adjutant. Please don't. I guess I have my doubts. I have my doubts. The OC unit has been getting a number of odd reports the last 24 hours, to be told. What do you mean? First of anonymous tips about figures in red being spotted around Creek's place before and after the killings. Whoops, that's me. Figures in red? That's right. That's me. The Rust. Who am I, the Rust? Alright. The Rust. No, nothing else. Clearly the Rust. I don't like the timing, but it's not as if OC can ignore the idea altogether. Someone killed those four. It wasn't Sosuke or Rogers. If you don't like the Rust for it, where's your head? Where's your head at? Whoever killed the Creek's paw did it with such unhinged brutality, and yet it was executed with precision. So cold-blooded that they managed to virtually erase their presence from the scene afterwards. Yeah. Tanks and Creek were both shot fairly close range and near enough to the solar plexuses, I suppose. Bashing Trish's skull in was overkill, yes, but it was the safest way to erase anything his mods may have eroded. And even if it was an afterthought, that overcorrection is in line with perfectionism, interrupted by... forget it. I'm seeing things that aren't there. First sign of obsession. Obsession? I'm jealous. You seem like you never have let anything get to you. It's unpleasant, you know? I feel like you're possessed by something. Or someone. Well, if it was easy to wrest control back, it wouldn't be an obsession. Just puppy love. Oh, that's me. Gotta take this call. See you around, Morgan. Yeah. See you around. Just don't go telling anyone that was a win or let your arrest ever spreading misfortune, misinformation. Well, we can't have that. Okay, Morgan. I fulfilled my obligation to Sarah. So now you can buy me a goddamn drink. Pardon? You can start your 108-year service tomorrow. And tomorrow, I got some paperwork we need to go through before then, and I don't want to do it sober. Oh, you're serious? Of course I am. Everyone knows it's tradition for a client to buy their lawyer a drink after beating charges like that. In this city, they take them to this one special bar. Kintetsu. Kinsurugi. I've never heard of that tradition. Or that bar. Yes, well, you've lived a very sheltered life under the roof of House Ikaria, but I forgive your ignorance. Time for you to put the fat wallet you've been accumulating that whole time to good use. I suppose I do owe you a great deal. Very well, but first I must inform Lady Mirai and the young master. Good. Go right ahead. Be my guest. What was that, Adene? Did you want to get a look at Sosuke's tattoo as well? I'll take a rain check. Sosuke seems much more animated this afternoon, don't you think? Did you say something to him? No. No. I didn't do anything. One a big happy family. I see. Aw, that's kind of sad. Then perhaps his injuries are just taxing him more than we realized. That must be it. I need to go dehydrate. I'll be back in a minute. You're back. Maybe. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I think this is Morgan. It had been threatening to rain all day. Gray skies spanning a slate blue world. It was cold, and all the heaters were humming in their rush to overcorrect for it. At 3 o'clock, raindrops started hitting the windowsills. Not a problem. She had her umbrella. At 3:15, the adults started leaning back in their chairs, watching the phones were being checked. They were preparing to leave. At 3:24, another topic is brought up. The gathering resigns themselves to a continuation. Resigns themselves to continuation. It's 3:45. By the time the girl was able to excuse herself, she was just 15 minutes to go back to school. Hardly impossible to foot if she hurried, but she could have asked to be driven there. For some reason, the thought never crossed her mind. She hesitates at the door. She's left her umbrella behind, back upstairs. It's not like her to be so absent-minded. The smart thing to do would be to go back up and get it. It is 3:49. At 3:51, she's jogging, a non-committal yet still a dignified rush. When she sees the time on her phone roll over to 3:52, she starts to run. She hates running. A small part of her considers sending a text. She'd never been the one to text first. Come to think of it, she'd never been the one to text second. She only had one number in her phone's contacts after all. At 3:56, the school gates are in sight. Her eyes had been strained to see them. She wasn't looking down. Her knee stung in a shallow, sharp way. The palms of her hands were embedded with specks of gravel where she caught herself. Rain-diluted blood ran faintly down her leg. She dripped water onto the mundanely tiled floors of the hallway. At 3:59, she paused to at least catch her breath before sliding the door open. If her heart hadn't been beating so loudly in her ears, she would have easily heard the voices behind it. Where do you even come up with this stuff? Hey, I can't promise it's going to be that exciting every week around here, but... Eve? What are you... I thought your family thing. Oh shit, are you okay? What happened? You're soaking in... I thought... Poirot. We're the Mystery Club. Name pending. I hope. I was told the name could change. You're right, Eve. I just went around to people on campus and tried being friendly and being myself, and people started signing up. Forget that. Your knee. It's fine. You must be freezing. Let me get my coat. Screw it. I'll just carry you to the nurse myself. Stop. Ma'am, this girl just showed up and she's bleeding. What? Bleeding? Everyone stand back. Where is she? Who? What's her name? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen her before. You, girl! Come with me. I'm taking you to the infirmary. Ma'am, she's cold. That's very nice. That's very nice of you, but it's not sanitary to share uniforms. Stay here and wait for the floors to be cleaned. Don't worry about it. I can walk on my own. 5:44 p.m. August 16th, 2086. Bar Kintsugi. And with a little sprinkle of salt just along the edge. There you have it. Oh, that looks wonderful, thank you. Of course. Let me know if you need anything else. I must admit, Morgan, this is quite a fine establishment. And so exclusive. The whole staff here on hand to attend to just the two of us. I can imagine what the waiting list must be like. Right? Lucky for you, you've got a man working on the inside. I can assure your table at any time, Sosuke. You or any of your housemates ever need a quiet spot to lay low from the judging eyes of high society? Now you know where to send them. I might do just that. And these prices! So reasonable! Shit, no, I should have gone with digital menus. Hey, Sosuke? That name they have for you, the Hound. That a title you were given? Or just part of the mantle you chose to take up? No. I was called that long before I started delivering messages. Long before I got my tattoo. Truth be told, I'm not sure where it came from, or when people started using it. Childhood nickname, I suppose? Earned by following Mirai's around like a puppy? Mirai around like a puppy? I ain't never, who told you Mirai was the air when we were... It's a miracle you didn't break under torture. You know that? The Hound of Ikaria. So, everyone called you a dog when you were a kid? Jokingly? Lovingly? Mirai's right. I don't know anything about one of the many things I've long since acknowledged that I'm missing. But obsession, addiction, those are easy enough to grasp. I've rolled the dice plenty of times by now. There are no demons haunting me. No other drivers in the car. Just me, sitting in the dark, with a hole in my chest. Boob. When it's hungry, I feed it. But it'll never be full. Because the hole was there first. And it builds a girl around itself so it could have a place to hide. How can you tell? They called you that, lovingly. I suppose you never know. You just trust. And if you do trust, then that's your answer. Besides, what's insulting about being compared to a dog? Everyone loves dogs. Probably even you. For your information, I like dogs just fine, Sosuke. But I could never live as one. Everyone's already colored in this world, tagged, labeled, classified, and put in a box. But even so, I refuse to sit at the end of someone's leash. Better remain astray. Credits. Art and art direction by Evil Little Bug. Programming by Patrick MCF. 3D models by A Renders. Environments by Patrick MCF and A Renders. Original tracks by Zachary Cabral. And featuring music by Lena Rain. Written, directed, developed by Brian Mulholland. Volunteer playtesting by Anna, Kristen, Hugh J, Maxie, Sadie Virtuous Varmint, S. Thumbut, Thomas Colander. Special thanks to Ariane at Alter Links, Anna, BBO, Kill Jill VT, Mado, Man Monks. Special thanks to Dev Talk, Philly Game Mechanics, our friends and family, and you, the players. Full distributions available at onthedevil.card.co. Made with Unity. Nanny Novel. Dotween. Throw Builder. Game by nthCirlce. Of the Devil, Episode 2. His due finished. He's so proud of his family. Look, Morgan. Look at my wife and child. Aren't they fucking cute? Look at them. They're fucking adorable, aren't they? This man's fucking drunk. Congratulations on clearing episode 2 on High Roller. Bonus charm earned. I wasn't looking out for anything in particular. The rest give me the others food and stuff for telling them where the blues go and who they talk to. My suits have been feeling too small. The blue guy in that building have been getting busy lately. Nope, start the game. I thought I hung around there. Might see something the rest would give me a few new shoes for. I never saw anything worth anything. So you give up? No. I got scared. What scared you? You wouldn't believe me. No one believes me. Everyone says I'm a liar. Everyone says I'm a liar, too. Are you? I can't remember. You see, everyone took everything that belongs to me. I don't feel right without it. I think you could help me find it. What do you want? What do you lose? My face. I saw the red hood. Except she was a lady, not a girl, and she didn't have her hood up. I didn't get a good look at her face, but she was all red. Red hair? What's that? What's this? Gold. Thanks. Are you sure it wasn't any help? You've been a huge help. Now I know to look for red hair. I've tracked more exclusive prey with less. Voice continued in Of the Devil, Episode 3. Quoting scripture. Episode 2 results. 7 articles. 22 profiles. 34 of 34 terms. 28 of 28 pieces of evidence. The rest earned 448.3. Congratulations! You finished episode 2 with 443 credits. Your high score for episode 2 is currently 443. You unlocked concept art and bonus scenes based on this score. You also have a total of 604 remaining store credits to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credit with which you finished this episode. Let's go and grab that new phone charm. Let's look at Sarah. Woo! Oh my god. Ah! She's baby. Look at her. I love her. I want that right now. I want that right now. I want that right now. Give me that I want that. I want that. I want that. I want it. I want it. Let's get Luna head empty. Let's get a teal cone case. Let's get Reese angry. Let's get oh my god. Adorable. Let's get Danani. Ooh, cute. I bought everything I want to buy. I could buy everything. I can buy everything right now. I am fucking rich. I'm so rich right now. I'm so rich with money. Let's put this here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the baby. Look at her. I love her. Oh, big heart, big heart, big heart. Look at her. Look at her. Ooh, I love her so much. She's so precious. Look at her. I love her. This is the concept gallery. We need to do concept art, right? Probably where is that? Here. Here's the concept for the lower wards. Oh. Okay. Let's look at Damani. Ooh, reference for Dami for in our Daimoni. Ooh. Snazzy, snazzy. Here's Creek and his Trey. Made man. Snazzy. Ooh, oh. A off-shoulder shirt. Funky. Here is Miller and Tank. He looks so angry. He hates this so much. He hates this so much. Oh my god. Here's the office and torture room. Ooh. Here is ooh yes, Reese, yes, Mirai. Mirai Karya, my beloved. She's so hot. Oh, also the photo. Oh my god. Here's a little photo on Sosuke's phone. Adorable. He's just wearing a school uniform. He's just wearing his fucking school uniform under there, basically. Look at that nerd. Big jacket, just wearing his fucking cardigan. But she's so hot. She's so hot. She's so hot. She's so hot. I love her. Here's the estate. Here's Sosuke. There's his tattoo. Oh my goodness. That is an elaborate design. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. Look at him. There's mugshot. Okay. Here's the bar. Here we have Adelaide Hahn. With her arm. Oh, interesting. It's like a brace. Cool. Oh, they're on both. Oh, cool. Bunny. Here's the policeman. Here's the policeman. Chopping. And here is Rogers. Here is Rogers. He's so serious. Look at this fucker. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this. Look at that bitch. Here is the host club. Here. Oh. MILF. Oh my god! When she was young. Oh my god, look at her. She's so pretty in her prime. Oh. Pretty. Oh, she got a modded. Oh, I see. Okay. Cool. Okay. If she lost her eye, maybe I'm gonna mod it. Interesting. There's also a Daisuke. Yeah, Daisuke. In his prime as well. Cool. And Morgan. Evan Red Hood. Morgan. Poor Morgan. Poor schoolgirl Morgan. Look at her. Schoolgirl Morgan. So sad. Big fan. big fan. Oh my god, women. Women, I love her. Women, look at her. Oh, I love it. Also, bonus scenarios I've not looked at. I have so many bonus scenarios. I've not read any of the bonus scenarios. We have some time. Need some time left. Oh, I still have an hour. Yeah, let's go. First off, let's watch this episode 1. Episode 3. What's that? Okay, we're done that already. Oh god. Episode 3 also the judging by the DLC thumbnail for episode 3, I see another hot crazy lady I'm into. I see one. But also, let's go read some bonus scenarios. I've not read any of these yet. Let's go look at the episode 2 ones we got. Survey. Wait, all of them? You execute everything? Yeah, everything. Hell yeah. We got them all. Let's read the survey household. Let's see what this is about. My network files. Capture video interviews. Icaria.vid. Begin playback. My rubbing alcohol physically. My rubbing alcohol. Sorry, that's Sarah. Why rubbing alcohol specifically? Nostalgia reminds me of the days spent bandaging scratched knees and blistered knuckles. You did that for Makoto? No. Some other boy was always overexerting himself. Sosuke! I like the smell of blood for the same reason. Oh! And antiseptic. And scalpels. That boy was always so hardy. He made for the perfect test subject. Test subject? I still think about finishing my medical degree sometimes. But I feel like my hobby would lose some of its therapeutic value if I did. What hobby is that? Poison making. What's with that reaction? You made it sound very intimidating just now. Oh. I was trying to make it sound exciting. If I tell people I'm interested in herbal remedies, they'll think I'm a dreadful bore. Or worse, that I'm going to try and sell them candles. Well said. Very well said indeed. You have much finer appreciation for these things than your so-called superior, you know. I make countless immaculately thought-out references to Hegel and Osmantia. And that a red woman stares at me as if I'm quoting comic books at her. Comic books can be good too. Comics for children. Are you a child? What about graphic novels? What is a graphic novel? One Piece, for example. Oh, One Piece? Who's your favorite? One Piece. Why list King Arthur alongside those other historical figures? What was that? Yeah. Why list King Arthur alongside those other historical figures? Arthur was based on multiple historical figures. I mean now. But even if his exploits are not factual, it still stands that he united a divided people and defended his homeland from barbarians. He also met fairies and wizards and fought dragons. I know. Impressive, wouldn't you say? Very much so. The Once and Future King was one of the first books I read all on my own. That's quite impressive. The vocabulary was, well, I admit, difficult at times. But I was reading a version with handwritten annotations, so I managed just fine. There was writing in the margins, like a hand-me-down. Hand-me-downs are for peasants who can't afford anything better. Was it given to you by your older family member? Yes. But it was handed down to me, you see. Oh. And it went on to annotate it further myself, so that I might someday pass it on to some other reader. So tell me, does that sound like hand-me-down to you? Yes, it does. Actually, that's the definition. You've got until I finish smoking this, or I get bored. Very well. I get bored fast. Oh, well, if our time is limited, perhaps we should focus on a topic of singular importance, such as athletics. And just like that, I knew he was gassed, lowered my frame, and flipped him out of the ring in one motion. An overwhelming, trampling victory. Best kind there is. I can imagine. Oh? You don't need wrestling? Any MMA yourself, little copper? Not physically, no. It's difficult to find partners who have a good match for my build. Sounds like an excuse. You sure you're not just scared? Confrontation can be intimidating, but sports are not arguments. They are a pure expression of noble, competitive spirit. Huh? That is to say, I will never back down from a challenge. Ho ho! Well said, well said. I know exactly what you mean. When you lock eyes, something else that needs to be said. I agree. So, will it be arm wrestling, sumo, chess boxing? Why not? All three. Good. Very good, you little. Sure. What is it? Can you see I'm in the middle of... Well, what is it? The Beetle needs to leave now if we're to be on time, sir. Here's a quote, then, for your little survey, Copper. Success can be a prison, but even in a cell, a man who's mastered himself remains a lord. I'm not sure I understand that one. What the hell? Makotan said that it made perfect sense. And then you engage. I see. So, you need me to stand here and film you two because... Why? Because Sosuke is teaching me how to do a one-inch punch. And I need to record it from a distance in order to practice it later. Why? Because she asked me very politely, Morgan. What more do you do? What more do you want, even? No, why do you need to know this, Sarah? Adene, surely you can intuit the advantage of a one-inch punch. Because there's no wind-up. You can execute it without telegraphing your movement to your opponent. And deliver maximum force to a critical weak point, even in the tightest close quarters combat. Not to mention, if the opponent has triggered any loser flags, your damage will double for each of them. Huh? What Sarah means is that an opponent who's overconfident is likely to leave themselves open at a vital moment, Morgan. And that's not incorrect. Right. Well, I don't know anything about close quarters combatter, loser flags, but I do understand basic physics. Add an A, and so I can state this much with complete and utter certainty. Hey, when performed by the same person, hey, all else being equal, stop! A 1-inch punch will never be more effective than just throwing a normal one. That can't be true. Why would you? Am I wrong? You didn't have to say it like that. There was no need for you to say it like that. How am I the bad guy here? The fact that you can even say that is... Oh, for... It's not like any rules about human martial arts applies to androids in the first place, right? Burn! They're unactivated. That is true. See? Perfect Umeki. Is that complete? Okay, that's silly. That's cute. That was silly. Okay, well, I want to see the rest of them. I want to see the rest of them. Let's see some more now. I'm not sure if I have time for all of them. I want to see more of them though. They're so silly. They're so silly. They're so silly. What the fuck? My files. My network. Files. Capture. Video. Interviews. Blue blood. .vid. Begin playback. Throwing out flowers is... It always depresses me. Actually putting them in the bin. So they end up just wilting around my place. Might have some kind of record for numbers of flowers killed at this point. Why do you buy so many flowers? I don't buy them. I get sent them. And chocolates and wine and... locks of hair. Sometimes it's all mixed together. But how do these people even know how to... Mama! Ugh. What? What? You getting rid of my dress? What hell kind of question is that? How do they know how to get me my dress then? If you just stop pulling your personal contacts on your business card, you won't be so easy to find. So now if a woman's friendly, deserves to get stalked? Not very forward of you, Mama. Forward? You think I don't know about forward? You brats don't know shit about political correctness. When I was your age, we'd He's gonna go for a while. You need to save battery or data or whatever. So, this is where you previously worked. Yeah, I was what they call a number one gal. And that involved people buying you lots of drinks. Selling dreams. That sounds like a very nice way to make a living. Nah. Whoop, what's that? Nah, it's pretty mean. What are you doing here anyway, Glutton? If you're not gonna come back, don't lodge around. Your fans will get the wrong idea. Come on, Mama. I'm just sitting here. And the cowards are all together. And the crowd's all together. My bad. Would you ever consider making it return? Nah. I didn't hate it. Didn't feel ashamed of it. Or the people met doing it. Even if some of them are nagging cramps. Keep it up and I'm gonna hand you a mop. If I want to be moving up, you know, always up. And the only place up from here, are those clam palaces. The courtesans lounge on golden couches and get fed crepes or whatever. Make it from here to up there. There's no footholds. Either you make it all the way or you fall. You need a little more security, and my income that. Plus, working in security, I get paid to punch the teeth out of handsy assholes. Not even the most powerful courtesans in the city get to enjoy that feeling. Without getting into more detail, then you'd be comfortable with. How high is Miss Kim in the organization's leadership? Pretty high? But she also works here as a manager. So, does she need to? We're not as rich as the Courier and St. as the rest. We all gotta work if we want to eat. Leadership included. I see. But even so, this workplace seems very high energy for someone of her age. I think she's comfortable here. She's married into the Blue Bloods, you know? And the pictures of her I've seen, the vibe I get, I think she was kind of a trophy wife. Oh. Her husband's whole family dying, leaving her in charge. She got burned on that deal. But she handled it, obviously. And I can't name any other old guard I would tolerate hosting under. The hell are you whispering over there for? Not whispering anything, mama. Your hearing's just got to shit. He's my brother-in-law, the illegitimate son. Not my mistress. He's time to admit, had his mistress give birth at the manor. Guess he was afraid if she went to the hospital and the paparazzi might notice. Of course, as it turned out, that was the least of our worries that night. I could pass the message to him, if you like. The hell would I even say? We've already dangled literally all the money we can in front of him. He's not taking the bait. I didn't mean other offer. I thought you might want to pass on more personal sentiment. Fat chance. We don't stare any blood. We never met. Yet the fox asked him to kill me, he wouldn't blink. I think that Sosuke would blink. Give it up. Sosuke and I aren't family, little girl. But you want it to be family. Ah, forget that shit. I got a job to get back to. If I look away for 5 seconds, all the talents around these devils devolves back into high school drama addicts. You took my locker. You stole my deodorant. No one can deny your work ethic, Miss Kim. Ms. Kim. Thanks. I know. But you still gotta pay for a full hour's worth of that boot. Would Adine be upset if I put it under her name? Blue Blood Vid. Blood Black. Complete. I think she would. I think she would be upset if you did that. Recover session. My files. Ooh. Uncutty. Private. Campaign. Backup. Tester 0, 1, 3. Begin. Playback. Alright, it's recorded. Hanks, do you have to record this? If I don't record it, Freak will ask me for notes when he doesn't remember any of this next week. Guilty as charged. Do you have to video record it? You have to video record it? Fine, Miller. Also, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it, so it's just audio. What's up, Trey? It's bothering you again? Huh? Oh, are they flickering? No, you're staring at a hole in the wall. Oh, I was thinking like, are we cyberpunk? I think, I think we qualify, yes. But we can, well, we can go get you some, felonies if you're feeling. No, I mean like, culturally, is this cyberpunk? What do you mean? Just dice and paper. Easy enchantment that can't be bugged or dragged. Perfect way to fight Big Brother. Don't you think? Yeah, but could we do cards or something too? You think playing Go Fish is cyberpunk? Well, no, but like a tabletop RPG? That's what you're on about? I'll be real. You sound dumb as shit right now, man. Huh? There's literally nothing more cyberpunk than tabletop RPG. Is it a point? Their history, Trey. Now pay attention. As you approach the town's walls, swords clang along the shields ring out. Voices rise and arrows are loosened. I wasn't expecting Hank to be the DM of a TTRPG. You know? Good for him. Voices rise and arrows are loosened. You're stumbling upon the closing act of a fierce battle. Clear the players intended to let play out its natural conclusion. Upon the parapets, a stern, horned woman, her long, proud hair slicked with the same blood that drips down her brow, spots you. Her eyes go wide, doesn't seem pleased to see you. She thinks we're like enemy reinforcements? You kind of are. You kind of are. You got a charter from the dukedom and to protect his people. And the horned guys are all foreigners. Can we ignore that? If I break an oath, my build is screwed. No. I have a telekinesis, right? You're gonna toss her off the wall? What? No, talk to her. What's the spell? You have telepathy talent. If that's what you're asking. Alright, oh, okay, use telepathy. Roll the dice. I got a 14? Okay. Skimming the surface of her mind, you see visions of allies cut down and civilians fired upon. Her skull is teeming with rage and despair, this brazen defilement of rules of war. Oh shit! This is a whoreling village. She's under attack. Tough luck. You got notes. Yeah, but if I ignore the plight of innocence, my build is screwed. Paladins have it rough. Well, can we get inside? The woman's injured, but not beaten. Within a few paces of her lies the lever that opens the gate. She eyes you and adjusts her grip on the club. She is seriously considering destroying the device to prevent you from entering. Can't you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Nice persuasion, We're cool, lady. We're cool, lady. 19. Every time. Ugh. I don't even. Taken aback by your earnest appeal, she spots a glimmer of hope in your arrival, and betting all that hope, she throws open the gate for you. Wait, do you have different dice than the rest of us? What are we coming for again? What are we coming for again? Rumors of powerful necromantic tomes in this area drew towards the supposed divine resting place of Elspeth. Elspeth, the never dying. Okay, persuasion. There's a lady where, Elspeth tomb is. 19. 20. That's not even... Was at first taken aback by your abrupt change on topic. Your, clever wording for the idea of Elspeth's crypt might have a weapon powerful enough to drive off our village's raiders for good. The elders used to threaten us with tales of... The elders used to frighten us about tales of Elspeth's might to get us, to behave. I remember, my nun, which talked to us that she'd rise up from under the town church if we didn't do our chores. Okay, so, the dungeons in the church. But of course, the church is locked down and, our women and children, along with the sick of the elderly. We never risk their safety by opening the church doors while this battle yet rage. Well, yeah. But I can't just pick the lock, right? Come on. You always do this. Do what? You always ignore your way out of battle. You always talk your way out of battles, and then we get beat up for 15 turns. I come back to revive you, don't I? I don't think you've lost HP yet. I'm playing smart. Avoiding conflict. Avoiding all the scenarios I set up to. Alright. I'll, throw a knife at one of the raiders. 19. Seriously? The knife, hits him, right in his eye, and he dies instantly. Grabbing the keg of burn gel, he was rushing towards the nearest fortification. Well, that's me, that's my guy right near it. No, drop the bomb! I have 3 charges of Valeria's interception. I'm gonna shield you. The hornlings in the village are legal citizens? I thought they were all foreign in this land. This village is lorded over by vampires, though. Remember? So, you couldn't... You wouldn't want to live here. It's like a shit town or a ghetto for immigrants or whatever. How does that work? How does it do cool with vampires? It's all legal. All they do is just pay blood taxes instead of gold for their lord's protection. So they get vampires here too. Can we get in the castle and kill the vampire lords? I mean, you can do whatever, but the vampire clan is legal protection. Predator in the area, and you'll be committing a crime. So you're both screwed if you commit a crime, Miller. I think it was like the right thing to do. It doesn't break any oaths. So is killing the vampire lords the right thing to do? Kinda subjective. Oof. Not what you want to hear from your good guy. Well, I'm not a good guy. I'm only playing as one. So tanks, if we charge in the castle, that's probably filled with traps and guards and shit, right? I'm not going to tell you. Come on. Look, it's a castle. There'll be defenses and shit, yeah. I'm game. Well, things seem cool. Let's go kill some landlords. After the fight we just went through, we just rested. Yeah, but you just did like 5 nat 20s in one encounter. I think you might be burning through all your luck. I'm happy to burn through all my luck if it means getting to kill some bloodsuckers with you boys. Thanks, Creek. But also, you're literally out of change or fortune charges. We just rested. It was a short rest, though. Damn. Reality is cruel. File corrupted. Playback. Playback? Playback terminated early. That's sad. That's cute and also sad. That the the D&D campaign was this just a reflection of the reality, kind of. That's cute and sad that Tanks did that. Also, Creek totally has loaded dice. Totally has a loaded die there. No two ways about it. It's loaded dice. No way getting past it. Very obvious loaded dice, but whatever, it's fine. As long as people are having fun, I guess it's fine to that. Tank knows. I think Tank can tell. Ethan's fine with it, so. Oh well. We need to call. Pub. Police. Static. Personnel. Mobile. 251 _ 82114. Cab. Audio. 18 that _ 08 _ 86. Begin playback. Sighting, witness statement, anonymous report, emergency call from a burner. What is all this? Are all these tips getting reported all of a sudden? After the trial's over? It smells, right? What do you mean? All this new information coming in surrounding Creek's pod? And all of it pointing towards the rust for some reason? You don't buy it? Of course I don't buy it! So, you think the Ikari are trying to point fingers at the rust? After Sosuke's been proven innocent? No, that doesn't make sense much. But someone's trying to pull something. If the Blue Bloods are the victims, and you eliminate the Ikaria, that just leaves the rust. But why would they want to misdirect attention onto themselves? I don't know. I guess it can't be them doing it. Gang wars have winners and losers, right? Someone stands to benefit from pitting the Reds versus the Blues. True. But finding that someone is a task that even OC would struggle with. We've got our own hands full. With what? Sorting through all the false confessions and love letters addressed to heartbreak? For the convention. Chief wants everything to shine. Ugh. Gordon Barrett had a hair out of place in the private sector will. Phone call? Yeah. It's a family thing. Would you excuse me? No, it's fine. I need some air anyway. Hello? Whoa, hey. I wasn't sure you'd pick up. Why wouldn't I pick up my adorable nephew? What is this? Man speaker? You guys stick up such code names? No? I'm just going to have to delete all this later. Thanks for that. Why would you call me on this line? It's the only number I know of. You haven't exactly kept in touch. I don't... Relax, man, it's a joke. Remember, those used to be good at them. Yeah? I remember. I never took anything seriously. Only way to live. I hope you don't mean that. Do I hear a teaching moment coming on? It's like riding a bike for you. Why call me now? Take a guess. Oh, you can't. You're serious? You're the one trying to take credit for Creek's pod? Waste not, what not? No one else seems interested in. Hey, Nephew? Yes, sir? What the are you thinking? The blue bloods will drown you. You think you have numbers? Well, they have unity. A lot less unity than they did a week ago. Creep with a flickering light bulb of low-quality hope for the young bloods. I extinguish that. The old guards haven't even tried to retaliate. If I were young blood, I'd start feeling a pretty damn disposable right about now. You want to start a civil war, that's in your head. Getting credit for kills you didn't even earn? Yet earn sounds like a pretty dumb way to spark it. Fake it, if you ever want to make it. Don't worry. The young bloods will start seeing some very real casualties soon enough. Don't do this. This is... Do you even have permission from... Now that's low. You have all people threatening to tell Mom? Because I'm taking initiative? Because I'm sitting on a pot that's stone cold? You want to act your age? Urge, caution, pray three times a day, the statu quo? Go right ahead. I'm gonna move. I'm sorry. I didn't call to argue. This was a courtesy call. Thought you would appreciate a warning about all the smoke that'll blow up your ass over the next few days. Thanks. But I'm not so old that I can't recognize bullshit when I smell it. That's good. Glad to hear you're still sharp. Besides, I'm not an OC anyway. You went back to arson? You're not still in homicide, are you? I thought that was like a sabbatical. No. That sucks. Because I've met all the guys who are an OC, and I don't like any of them. Sounds like they're doing their job then. Sure. Hey, listen, I didn't mean to drop contact. No, don't worry about it. You picked up when I called. That's all anyone can ever do, right? Bare minimum. Yeah, well, like I can invite you over for dinner. I guess not. Don't do anything that'll get you killed. Damn. You're full of good advice today. Got the fortune cookies afraid for their job security. I mean it. Don't do anything that'll get you killed. There it is. The double emphasis. What do you use to do anyway? What do you say anyways? Redundancy? Right, I remember. Believe it or not, I took every lesson to heart. File deleted. And last, received call. Public. Judicial. Handheld. Personal. Mobile. Rockford _E. 16 _08 _86. Begin playback. Hey. No, I'm glad you called. I could use some decompression. I just had a loss. But don't tell anyone I called it that. Thanks. Maybe a death to me if it ever got out. Yeah, no, I read the story. Well, what I could. It's kind of hard to read anything in between the editorializing. Right! If it's you, the resources, who cares? I don't know at this point. If I can be conspiratorial for a second, I'm not sure they want Heartbreak caught. Well, that's going a bit far. It's more like so far, as long as heartbreak's out there, they want to take advantage of the moment. People are scared because of the heartbreak. They drive on fear. Some of the radicals are getting bold. The state don't relish the chance to draw them out. Maybe after the election. No, that's okay. I've thought about it myself. I just don't want to go that path. I don't have to, you know. I don't want pride. Really? Wow. That's taking it pretty seriously then. What's the priority? Priority is, of course, Data is their bloodline. Lifeblood. No, I mean, that's great. I'll only be in town. Yeah, I'm excited to finally meet you in person. We should get dinner. Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. Sorry if you were hoping for that kind of excitement, but no. There's no jealous X in the picture for you to worry about. I think you'll be fine. Oh, saved. Ooh, a date? Hey, yo. Anyways. Let me go to my menu. Any preview? No preview for no preview for the next episode? Really? Oh. I'll have to need a preview. But I guess not. And with that, I guess that's the end of episode 2 of the Devil. That was fun. Let me go over to this screen real quick. Let's see real quick as a position. That was fun. We finished the case. We finished the game. Well, we finished what we have so far, not the game. We finished episode 2. Got to the trial, and it was quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. We did some things here and there. We learned some things. We learned a lot of things, actually. Not just some things. We learned a lot of things. But that was lovely. Anyways, I am going to go and have some dinner and relax a bit. But have fun with the Devil. Play the game yourself. I forgot to mention, but check it out yourself. If you enjoyed this, episode 3 is not out yet, but it's free to wishlist. You can wishlist episode 3 right now if you really want to. I'm gonna go to the link for wishlist episode 3 real quick. Go wishlist episode 3. Link will be in the description of the YouTube pod, or also is in chat right now. Check it out. The Devil is a lovely game. If you enjoyed what we saw right now, episode 0 is free. It's a prologue, and it is a lovely read. I enjoyed it a lot when I played it all that time when it first released. But that's it for me today. I'm gonna go have some dinner and relax my voice because it is dying, apparently. Surprise, it is dying, but that was fun. I really enjoyed it. But we're gonna go and raid out to say hi to Izzy, who's doing just also currently watching the Honkai, not Honkai, the ZZZ live stream right now. I'm doing a watch along. But that's it for me. Thank you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. Next stream will be tomorrow, Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, for some Silk Song. I'm excited to play more Silk Song. We'll slowly progress through that. We got some side quests to do. We've unlocked the ability. We can do a lot more. We can do a lot more things now. But that's gonna be for now. I'm gonna go and have some dinner and relax my voice for now. Until next time.